Hey everyone, it's Gail Lynn here, the queen of journaling on YouTube and TikTok. Today is Monday, June 1st, 2026 already. Where's time going, y'all? Today, under my Importance of Journaling series, we're going to discuss how journaling can lead to growth in our lives, mentally, physically, and spiritually. It's a good thing to know. I've been journaling since I was very, very young, probably elementary school. And so when I reflect and look back over my life via my journaling, I can say I've truly grown. But when we start to measure journaling from, an older age, say we start now, and we're over 20 or we're over 30, it's good to know that eventually our efforts in journaling and reflection can lead to some type of personal growth in our life. I am convinced that it does, and I just want to get everyone else on board. I've been journaling, like I stated before, from a very young age, but most recently, I've been able to journal and have different types of journaling books that I use. There's so many out here, especially on Amazon. But I personally say, hey, everyone can choose what fits them best. I would love for everyone to buy my journals, but I want you to be you. Feel free to choose, and whatever makes you feel like you want to go with it, go with it. I do a lot of personal journaling. I do a lot of what happened to me dad type journaling. Say, for instance, catchy phrases, a word or a note that I might hear from a public speaker. My personal journal, church notes journal, when I'm listening to my current and newfound pastor, Mike McClure, from Rock City, I'm journaling and listening what I hear from him in my church notes. And I designed this journal under his influence. Let me say, he would give his sermons and say, take notes. And that's so important. And I thought, no coincidence that he keeps inviting his guests and his members to take notes so that they can reflect on what he has stated during that sermon and apply it to their lives at another time. So it all makes sense. No coincidence that I could just relate to him so much, and he influenced me to create this Church Notes journal. So check it out. It's on Amazon.com. But today I'm actually going to speak on growth in journaling using my prayer journal. It's a personal prayer journal that states that we have no fear. Do not fear. I was listening to Pastor McClure in a video the other day, and he talked about goal setting and how everyone's instructed. I even instructed some of my youngsters when I was at the school last week for Career Day to, attempt to set goals for their future. But then I heard Pastor McClure speak on goal setting and make the statement that yes, we can set goals, but we always want to make sure that these goals are aligned with what the plan is God has for our life. So we don't want to just set a goal to accomplish something that really isn't going to benefit us in the long run. And so, although it's important to set goals, we should still start off by praying and asking God to lead us in the right direction. He has a plan for us, but we have to stay in His will so that we know we're in the right direction, we're going the right path, because we want to achieve what He has for us. There's so many great things in our life. We have this purpose. If we achieve it, if we attempt to achieve it with the assistance of our higher power, We can't fail, y'all. We can't fail. So I always say this. He says, if we're going to set a goal, pray and ask about it first. When I speak in my book, Walk by Faith, Trot by Sight, I say, yes, we should all set a goal. We should have faith for it. We should do what we need to do to achieve what we want. But we have to make sure that it's something that God really wants us to have. Do we deserve it? Do we need it? Will it help us in some way to help others? Because that's why we're really here, to serve and support others, but within reason. Because you don't want those that unfortunately take advantage. So back to my journaling and how it leads to growth, personal growth. And when I talk personal growth, I'm talking spiritual, mental, and physical growth. Journaling leads to mental growth. Our minds carry so much every single day. My mind's always racing. Responsibilities, and that's lifing. Our responsibilities every day, I call it or refer to it as lifing. Worries, which could also be known as doubt. Deadlines. When I tell you, even though I'm at home, I'm a home-based employed person now, with other outside positions when I'm available. Even though I'm home-based and I'm a home healthcare person taking care of others, there's so many deadlines that I still have to reach and accomplish every week. Dental appointments, doctor appointments, mental health appointments, medicine. It's so many other deadlines that I have to meet. So even not being in the workforce in these big organizations, I'm still under deadlines, which can be very stressful at times. We have memories, disappointments, and we all struggle with disappointments. I try to tell myself that I don't worry and I'm not going to be unhappy and things don't disappoint me, but they do. There are actions from others that disappoint me all the time. Sometimes we expect our biggest supporters to be those that are in our circle, our family, our friends, our associates. And that can sometimes be deceiving. It could be the opposite of people that I just met yesterday that support me more than people that have been in my life all my life. So just want you to take note of that. It can happen. And someone actually told me, I think it was Pastor Mike, he said, stop saying you don't need any new friends because you're of age. And you do need new friends because we always need to be meeting new people because they're going to help us reach our next level. So I'm excited and encouraged with all the new people I've met just recently in the Philadelphia school system. When I tell you that the number of subscribers has increased, so thank you very much. And I'm going to be offering my subscribers some type of opportunity to win maybe a meal card or a shopping and grocery gift card. We'll have some type of random thing in a couple of weeks. I said I'm going to have to offer them something to stay tuned and stay encouraged. But I also like to say that we can also have our minds carry so much every single day, such as dreams, and we have so many unanswered questions. Like I stated before, why do people that we love refuse to be our biggest fan? I ask myself that question every day. But guess what? I can't worry about it. I can't worry about the actions of others unless it's a direct attack on my personal well-being. So you can let it go. Sometimes our thoughts become crowded, and journaling gives your mind a safe place to breathe. So that's what I like to do when I journal. I feel like I'm breathing. Again, I have quiet time. I have alone time. I have me time. And I'm just journaling what I'm thinking. And I'll give you some examples from my prayer journal. And this I wrote on 5/18. God grant me patience to deal with mom's symptoms, her her short-term memory, but long-term and negative responses to my support sometimes. I need to get things done though at the same time. So I stuck a sticker on here that says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. So you see how I sticker and I make myself feel better? Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7. Let me read you another journal entry before I return to my series. Let's do another D. Let's see. See, I speak on PMJ all the time. My pastor is so awesome. When I tell you I'm going to get to Birmingham this year, I'm going to get to Birmingham, preferably around my birthday. Like I stated earlier, whatever is your comfort zone for your higher calling, your spiritual needs, that's what works for you and that's good for you. I also wrote on 225, being a peculiar person, which I'm going to do a video on this coming up really soon about becoming a peculiar person because we don't all want to be like everybody else. Yeah, it's great to follow trends. Like I need to learn some line dancing classes. So when I go out and I'm invited to some function, I can get in that line and where your fans at? I need to learn how to do that. But when it comes to my everyday personal decisions and my style, I don't want to be like everyone else. I want to be different. I want to be peculiar. So on 225:26, I talk about being a peculiar person. 1 Peter 2:9. I plan to have aired this in March of this year, but like I stated, life has totally taken me off schedule. And yet, you know what? I still have time to get it out before the end of the year. Plenty of time, even though it's moving quickly. 2/5/26, I wrote PMJ, and his sermon was entitled "I Got Away." Exits versus entrances. There's a difference in our exit, and it's just as important as our entrance. Did you ever think about that? Be the first not to take the exit because your entrance is a choice. Wow. And again, as I state, a lot of times our choices is not always what's best for us. So that's why we have to think and pray and meditate and give thought to what our choices are, because these choices can personally affect us our entire life. That 1 minute, that 1 second choice could affect the entire person's life or the rest of your life. I'm so concerned. You have to be so concerned about your exits. He won't let your entrance kill. Sometimes our thoughts become crowded. Mine do all the time. Journaling gives your mind a safe place to breathe. When you write, you organize your thoughts, you gain clarity, you solve problems, and release mental clutter. Mental clutter. I have a lot of junk mail clutter sometimes. So I recently purchased a huge office-size shredder so that I don't keep this personal junk mail clutter in my foyer. When you first walk in the house, you don't need to see all this mail. You gotta get rid of it so the place looks a little nicer. Instead of allowing stress to stay trapped in your mind, journaling helps you process it. Mental growth through journaling includes, but is not limited to, stronger focus, better memory. And I struggle with memory issues right now, and I know it may be related to some down the road dementia issues because it could be genetic, but I'm not claiming that. Improve self-awareness. I have improved my awareness over the last 5 years, maybe 10. And it all has to do with my purpose and who I have associated with that has me right where I am today, at the right time, at the right place, fulfilling my purpose. And we have more than one purpose because we have more than one skill, we have more than one talent. But I feel like the purpose of me doing these Importance of Journaling series videos is helpful to someone. Writing cannot help you. It cannot harm you. I'm sorry about that. It can only help you, and most importantly, it may heal you in the long run. Instead of allowing stress to stay trapped in your mind, journaling helps you process it. Stronger focus, better memory, improved self-awareness, increased creativity. Yeah, I think I'm getting increased creativity with my stickers, right? And clearer decision making. Yeah, I think I'm making better decisions now. Sometimes while writing, you discover answers you didn't even realize were already inside you. And journaling has definitely helped me in that area. That's called growth. I'll read it again. Sometimes while writing, you discover answers you didn't even realize were already inside you. And this is called growth. Isn't that awesome? You may begin journaling confused, but finish journaling with peace. You may start writing while overwhelmed, which I've experienced many times, and end with understanding. That's why we should immediately take down notes when we hear a thought, a phrase, a word. Write it down, put it in your phone under your cell phone notes, because it's going to help you later on when you have to come up with some conclusion or make a determination. You'd be surprised how writing what you hear and what you think or what you discover in a day's time, it'll help you in the long run. I am a witness. That's why journaling is so powerful. Journaling leads to emotional growth because many people hold emotions inside because they don't know how to express them. Some people smile publicly while hurting privately, and everyone can identify with that. But journaling allows honesty. It's a safe place, a listening space, and a healing space. In your journal, you can cry, you can pray, you can reflect, you can forgive. And I struggle with that the older I get. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. I'll say to people, I'm never having another party because when I did my 55th birthday party, I invited the entire city of Philadelphia and only 20 people came. But I can't keep holding on to that because you know what? Those 20 people that were there were the right 20 people that needed to be there. And that was all I needed. Maybe if I had the whole city of Philadelphia, I would have run out of food. So you see how we can't keep thinking in unforgiving situations that really make no sense. It didn't stop me from living. I'm still here. And releasing emotional pain without judgment. How many of us can do that? Judgment, judgment, judgment. With all the social media, the selfies, the constant beginning, the camera, and seeing how others live, we can easily be caught up in quick judgment when we don't know the entire story and what that person's going through. Journaling teaches emotional awareness. It makes you aware of what triggers you, which, like I stated earlier, that 1 second of trigger could affect your entire life or the entire rest of your life and what you have. So be very careful about what triggers you, what hurts you, what heals you, and what brings you peace. Emotional resilience, my favorite word. Patience. I'm working on it so it can be one of my favorite words. Maturity, which we all strive to be. Confidence and inner strength. Sometimes journaling helps you realize I survived things I once thought would break me. And how many of us have survived something like a person that we love passing away. Sometimes I get stressed. Never underestimate small progress. A seed grown quietly before anyone sees the results. And journaling works the same way. Faith journaling, as we spoke on last week, can also strengthen our spiritual growth. When you write prayers, scriptures, testimonies, gratitude lists, or moments where God carried you through difficult seasons, you begin seeing growth differently. And I can say, I see a lot of situations in my life differently now. It could be because of maturity, it could be because of life experiences. I've grown spiritually, mentally, and physically, and I'm able to accept what comes my way because I've recently discovered that there are obstacles in our life, and then there's opposition in our life, and so God sometimes puts obstacles in our life to keep us aligned with what He has for us. That's going to take us to the next level. Obstacles create growth, whereas opposition comes from that negative force, so it can affect us negatively and keep us off track so that we don't get to the next level. So when I say obstacles and opposition, I mean there's obstacles in my life, like taking care of my mother who is in the, well, I don't want to keep saying she's in the early stages because it's been 3 years now, but she's battling with her memory loss. And yet I was already taking care of my brother before my mother came to live with me. So I've been taking care of people all my life. My children, my ex-husband, and now my mother and my brother. And that's an obstacle that I now believe is going to help me get to the next level in my life, which is being out there in the community, doing my Food for the Foodless service. I've been provided the opportunity to work directly with partnership with the school district of Philadelphia. And those families and communities need my support. They don't live with me, but I'm able to partner and provide support to those children and families who have food insecurities or who suffer from food insecurities. So my obstacle right now in the home can help me achieve my positive partnership with the school district and any other communities resources out there that want to work with me. It all works together. I love it. Now, opposition on my side is my son who still has a few battles going on with the blood clots. And sickness is a form of opposition because it comes from a negative force. That's something that we just can't control. But I'm not going to let that take me down either. I speak positively that he will overcome this. He's still young. He's still vibrant. He has a lot more years ahead of him. And he'll be fine. I'm just going to keep speaking positive because I refuse to go all into this low grade, oh, woe is me. No. We have oppositions. We have obstacles. Either way, we have to think our way out positively. So when we're faith journaling again, you begin seeing your growth differently. You realize how far you've come, which I've just stated, what God brought you through, which I just talked about, and how much stronger you've become. I'm strong. I'm definitely stronger. I used to fall apart at the drop of a dime. I remember my ex-husband would shield me all the time. He wouldn't tell me what was really going on because he thought I would crumble and fall apart. And now look at me 40 years later. I think I've just about survived every dilemma that there could be. And there's still some that I haven't. So I'm not cutting anybody else's story short. I'm just saying, life in itself will make you stronger, make you wiser. Sometimes your old journal entries become reminders that God never left you. In closing, take a moment and ask yourself, what areas of my life need growth? What thoughts have I been carrying silently? What emotions do I need to release? What goals have I stopped believing in? And what will happen if I become consistent with journaling? Write those answers down. Your healing may begin with your honesty. So I want to take this time to thank my viewers once again for watching this video on journaling and how growth relates to our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Now, coming up next week on June the 8th, I'm going to speak on journaling versus what a manifesto is. I was watching one of my famous murder shows on Memorial Day, and the person that committed the crime actually left a manifesto. So I started researching. Manifesto is a journal? Really? And then I did some research and discovered that a manifesto originally was not to be used as something that some person would use after they committed a crime. But manifestos are very, very proper ways to journal and leave positive information for businesses, artists, and for our own personal journeys. So I can't wait to talk about that on next Monday, June the 8th. Manifesto journaling and what manifesto journaling really is. Like, subscribe, share, and I thank you again, all my new subscribers. We're going to have an exciting next couple of months. I'm learning every day how to get these videos out, and despite my setbacks, I'm going to keep going because I'm encouraged, y'all. Thank you for having that faith in me, and I'll prayerfully and hopefully see you next time. Bye-bye.
Gail Lynn Crawford. Gail Lynn Crawford, Queen of Journaling. Gail Lynn Crawford, Queen of Journaling.